Thank you, Gregory. And I want to welcome everybody here. Good morning. Welcome to our Monday morning, which we call Miracle Call. And I'm welcoming everybody, but if you're new, many, many more warm welcomes, because as you listen, you're going to hear stories of people, of how they use the patches, and this, like we call it, miracles, but as it's been told, it is science. But please listen in and don't be shy. If you have a story or a question, whichever, please speak up, but we like to stay compliant. What that means, I know a lot of you have heard this, but if you're new, what that means is we do not ever want to mention a disease. You can mention the symptoms, explain it, we will understand. And if it is something that's really happened great to you or not, please just tell us what happened before the patch you took, and then what happened afterwards. And then also, we want to limit the first 15 minutes to X39. As you have heard before, it's our grandfather patch. It can do everything, and we know it can. So please limit your comments to X39, and then after we will go. And how to do that, please look at the bottom of your screen if you're on your computer, and there is a reactions icon. If you click on it, you'll see that you can raise your hand. You will raise your hand and put your hand, it'll be in a sequence here where I can see you. Please leave your hand up while you're speaking. I will call on you in the order that we can go on. And if it's a question, there's so many people on here that can help you. So please don't be shy, but do not mention any disease states because we want to stay compliant. We do not make claims out there that we can diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any conditions. So please keep that in mind. And also, we have so many people here already having our hands raised, and we want to stay brief. So brief is a great thing to do. And that is 30 seconds, maybe to a minute. And so we can get everybody in. If you have more than one share and there's not a lot of hands up, please chime in, because by the end of this call, we are so energized to go out for our week. This is our Energizer call, and it goes out like we can go over and we can conquer everything. So please join in, and we will start our call first with Heidi. Heidi, unmute and please let us hear from you today.
Good morning, Jerry Ziegenfuss.
Good morning,
Did I say your name right?
Jerry, yes. Good morning.
Heidi Miller chiming in. I have an X39 story that I didn't even realize until I was reading my journals from a year ago. I age into my 54th year of breathing, which means my 53rd birthday next week. And I was looking at my health tracker from the first probably 63 days that I was wearing X39. And I literally have a increase in, I know that it has glutathione in it, but I didn't realize that my bowel movements were increasing, which is a good thing for me as a vegan eater because it's detoxing me from my surgery from 2013. And so I'm just so happy that I am still at a 4 to 5 bowel movement kind of gal. So there we go.
Wow, thank you for that share. And I'm glad it's making you feel better, obviously. Thank you. Adele, please unmute. Let us hear.
Last week, since I shared a story about my mother who turned 100 on September 2nd and has been using the patches for a year, just over a year, and it was the most amazing weekend with her memory. Absolutely amazing. She knew who I was. I remember I had a long conversation with her the day before her birthday, and then I thought, does she know who I am? Because a lot of times she wouldn't. And I'd say, do you know who I am, Mom? And she's like, she looked at me indignantly, like, yes, I'm my daughter, Adele. But I shared the story with photos and noticed that my mother's face looked so much better after a year on X39. So I shared them in the Live Younger ! Facebook page, but I will also share it in the Vibrant Living. Isn't that? I'll share it on that other page.
No,
so that
that's great.
Photos, because since you're asking me to show photos, and I'm in the islands and I can't easily print pictures, so I did it that way.
I did see the picture. She looks wonderful, wonderful, and 100. Wow, what a milestone. Thank you, Adele. Hi. Good morning, Kay. Please unmute and share.
Good morning, everyone. I have a little dog story. I have an 8-pound Chihuahua mix who played with the next door neighbor's dog to the point that she had a terrible back problem. Took her into the vet and he prescribed muscle relaxants, which we did for 5 days, and she felt much better until I didn't do the muscle relaxants anymore, and we were right back where we started. So I decided to give her her own X39, not my leftovers, but a nice fresh one. Put X39 on her, and by the 3rd day, she was back to being her excited little dog that she is, with no more back pain. She's jumping back on the furniture and into our laps and so on. So sometimes we need to give them their own fresh patches. And
Yeah.
X39 saved me tons of money at the vet. Thank you.
Okay, and I know that. I am a dog person and I know about the money, and my dog was on Apoquel constantly. Allergies. I mean, really ridiculous. And I used the X39 on the inside of the collar and was able to save money that way too. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, I put it on her collar tag, by the way, the little tag that hangs down, because she's real furry, being a long-haired Chihuahua. So
Yeah, and it's close enough, 3 inches. It works. So great. Great story. Thank you. Sunshower, come on in.
Morning, everybody. Such a great call. What a way to start the week. So I have 2 things. One is a little testimony and other is a question. So I took a fall the other week and had a big bruise on my right arm, and it wasn't going away very fast. And I don't know, I was trying to figure out, why isn't it going away quicker? And I think I was on the health practitioner's call maybe last Tuesday. Dr. Velvet is the one that I think it was she who said, well, energy enhancers. I'm like, well, duh, because that's what gets your blood circulating again. So it's doing a whole lot better now. You can barely see it now, but it was huge. You guys, some of you saw it last week. It was pretty big and horrible. So thank you. I'm sure it was Dr. Velvet. Nod. Yes, it was you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Sunshower, yes, it was quite huge and not looking really nice.
I know. Very becoming, right? So my question is, I have a preferred customer who used our silent nights and it kept her awake all night. So I'm like, what? Does anybody have anything they'd like to either say in the chat or maybe answer me verbally? That would be great.
Well, I know it's possible, but I saw Dr. Velvet shake. So go ahead, Dr. Velvet. I know you have an answer.
Yeah, so I actually had a client that had the same situation, and I was asking her to put them closer to her head area. And what we did is that we moved them to her foot, right on top of her foot, and she slept like a rock.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if it's disturbing their sleep up here, move it lower.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Nancy, do you have an X39 testimony for us? You have them, I know. Oh, unmute, Nancy. Nancy, unmute.
Since you mentioned this, I thought I would show my before and after picture.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
And then also I have this lady who is a tennis player and had really bad pain in her leg, thinking it might be her vagus nerve or something. And she started wearing the X39 patches and she has no pain anymore in where she used to. And she is just absolutely astounded and thrilled.
Wow. Nice.
Mention
Great.
that.
Thank you so much. Great. Next, Carolyn, please unmute. Let us hear from you, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Imagine not being able to open a jar, your front door, or type from so much thumb joint pain from decades of typing. So I started X39 in July 2022 when I was 70, knowing that 6 weeks later I would have thumb joint replacement on my dominant hand. And this is the 3rd time. And 10 days later, I could type, I could drive, I could floss, I could write holding a pencil in my left hand. and I could chop veggies very carefully. And I skipped my entire 3rd and 4th month of physical therapy. And I had this surgery 4 times total, once on my right hand and twice before on my dominant hand. And to skip PT even a few times in my 2nd month, I just looked at my schedule from that time era. It's pretty astounding. Rapid
Wow.
wound healing. And I have a quick question for a medical person, someone that is taking an estrogen blocker from 5 years of estrogen blocker 5 years after breast lumps have been removed. Will X39 interfere since copper supplements are contraindicated from what I looked up this morning?
I did see Dr. Tom on the call. I'm looking, Dr. Tom, are you there?
Sure, and that's actually, a lot of the work here is to upregulate the body's repair capacities, and our regenerative capacity. Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera started here at the same time I'm talking. Our regenerative capacity is based on our sex steroids. Yeah, and from stem cell up, a lot of what we're looking at is our ability to mobilize those sex steroids to the target tissues. And actually cartilage is one of the most sensitive too and fragile. So it shows that there was probably an underlying in the first place. You may want to talk to your doc. We can't make medical claims here or give advice, but a lot of these technologies upregulate everything. So in addition to turning up the volume on the body's physiology, it also turns up the body's ability to have bioavailable all the steroids, all the supplements and all the medications you're taking. So I'm not saying that we could taper you off the estrogens, but you might want to talk to the doc and say, hey, you know what, I'm working with this technology that has obviously impacted my life quite dramatically and is making everything work better. And I think I might not need this anymore, and see what he says. Right. And if he's open to that conversation, have him take a look. Then he can dive into our clinical trials and whatnot and decide. You guys can decide together whether or not that's something you want to taper. But it sounds like it's I love your story. And you obviously your body's back into a place where it can do the job that the medications used to do. Right. So then the responsible conversation is to talk to your doc and say, hey, you know what? I think I might not want this anymore. This thing that I have to take every day, or this thing that I have to take every week.
Oh, I didn't share that this is for a neighbor friend of mine. And so I should point her to the clinical trials to try to help educate her doctors.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Have her go to liveyounger.com, which is beautiful. Watch a couple of short videos and then scroll to the bottom. I like to tell people, make sure you scroll to the bottom. It's free, but you have to register, and then you'll get the link by email for access. And let me know what you think, right?
Thank
and
you.
Then folks step into their playgrounds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tom.
Sure.
Our next person would be Allie. Would you unmute and share?
Hi.
Hi.
My first week.
Is it me, Gregory? Her connection. I can't.
And the sharing on Aeon, I'll turn off my video. Let's see if that helps.
That's a
But last week when I heard about the Aeon, it reminded me I have arrhythmias with my heart and frequently wake up in the middle of the night in an episode. And I started using the Aeon when I go to sleep, and I haven't had an episode since.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thanks, Allie. And Allie just started us off. We're at the 15-minute mark. If you have other patches you want to bring in to let us know how they are helping you, we welcome that now. So Jeannie, could you please unmute and let us hear your story?
Hi, everyone. So I've been using the patches since 2020. And what amazes me about all the patches, but especially the X39 patch, is that how things keep improving. And I work in the spa industry, and I've had a sneaking suspicion that I've been exposed to, especially the medical spa industry, exposed to a lot of chemicals. And I was getting better and better and better. And something happened recently. I got out of that industry. Out of that spa and into a spa that doesn't have all the chemicals. And while at the new spa, I was exposed to some vaping. And the whole time I'm doing my X39 every single day, like I always do, was having some problems. Like I was trying to figure out why my brain was going offline. And I started connecting the dots and realized, oh, I was exposed to the vaping chemicals. Long story short, after 3 days, after doing 21 hours of actual massage, which is a lot, especially at the age of 67, today, my first day off in 10 days, my brain is so clear. The energy that I have, the lack of pain, it's like, I guess the point that I want to make, the patches are amazing. And when we can combine that with lifestyle changes, miracles can really, really, really happen. Love the X39.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jeannie. Appreciate that. Don't see any more hands at the moment, so I'll do a couple from yesterday. I did something dumb. I was quick in a hurry, and I went to shove a drawer closed really fast, and my thumb was still in there. And I looked down, the pain was like out of sight. It was purple already, the whole nail. So I hurried up and grabbed an X39 and put it on it and wound it in there. And within 30 seconds, the pain was gone. But I didn't know about the nail because the way it looked, I wasn't sure I was going to be having a nail. So I kept it on in severe conditions. You can do that. And this morning, my nail is as perfect as anybody's nail. It's the same color and everything. So those X39s, people, if you have a question, what should you do? Grab an X39. So, okay, let's continue. Heidi, your hand's up. Please unmute.
So I have an Alavita story with my teenagers. I've shared this before. I have 3 teenagers in braces, and they've been in braces since May of last year, August of last year, and September of last year. And every time they go in for an adjustment, they have been putting on Alavitas on either side of their face during the day. Now, I know that sounds funny that it's to be worn during the day, but it's immediately after, and then they wear it for a full 24 hours, and they do not wake up with any pain.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. As everyone, or mostly everybody knows, prior to X39, Alavita was the go-to patch, and it's really, really effective. So please keep that in your toolbox. So thank you, Heidi. Nancy, do you have another share for us? Please unmute.
Yes. I have this man who had terrible pain and inflammation in his shoulder and his hand. And he was using the X39, and he was saying he wasn't getting any results. And so I called him and I said, you know, are you wearing him 12 hours a day and taking him off and letting your body rest? And he said, no. He said he had been leaving him on all day, sleeping in it all night, and then he'd take it off in the morning and put on a new one. And I said, David says you can't do that. It's like overcharging your battery or something, and it won't work as well. And so I suggested he start wearing it 12 hours only, not wearing it at night. And I suggested he add the Eon patch at night to help with the inflammation and pain, because I had heard that from a doctor in Houston that this actually is really good for people who have inflammation, that it helps cut down the inflammation so that the X39 can actually work more effectively. Well, it was less than 2 weeks later, I contacted him again and I said, are you getting any results now? How are you doing? And he said, yes, it's almost all completely well. So I think some of it is making sure people wear them properly and don't overload their body or something, because I know David has said many times in the videos that your body has to rest between wearing them.
Yes, and what it really is you have them on 12 hours, but then the body goes to work after that. So if you don't take them back off, the body can't help, and the body heals itself. It's really, really a smart tool we have, our body. So thank you, Nancy, for that. Appreciate that.
Welcome.
Next.
One more.
Yes, sure.
A friend who had a 16-year-old horse and she went down. And so he ordered the patches for her and he put them on her, and she was up in one day, and he's putting the patches on her now. He wasn't doing it properly. I had to talk to him this morning and tell him, take them off, don't leave them on for days. But she's getting better and eating and putting on weight. So
Nice.
anyway. So
Anything, any way we can help our animals, right, Nancy? I'm for it.
yes.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. Wendy, please unmute.
So I'm I'm honored to say that I was able to patch a vegan friend's mother of mine, 92 years old, who had a lump in her breast, and she was not she's very holistic and did not want to have anything invasive done, you know, at her age, and so we patched her, of course, with X39. We put the Ice Wave directly on the lump where it was actually giving shooting pains. We had to wait until she actually had a pain. And then with Ellie's advice, we also started her with glutathione for the immune boosting, you know. And so the pain went away like after, you know, that evening and the next day. And from my knowledge, and I've talked to them a few times, it has not come back. And she commented that the lump itself had gotten kind of squishy. I'm not sure I know exactly what that means, but I think that would make it, you know, at least more comfortable, and something's happening there. So anyway, yeah, and that's been probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So I'd say that was pretty good.
Well,
advice.
maybe we can even hope that squishy means dissolving. I don't know.
Yes, whatever is the most positive. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Adele, do you have something else for us today?
I do. On August 25th, I cut my finger. I was cutting a dog treat, a really hard rubbery thing with a Cutco knife, which are extremely sharp. I didn't realize it was a Cutco. And I showed it on Monday. I showed what had happened. That was on a Friday. And so it was almost about 3 weeks ago. I just want to, it is totally gone. I was told I needed stitches by 3 people. I ignored it. I patched it. It was from the nail bed down to the middle of this back area, very deep, very messy. And I wore X39, 2 at the base, 2 new ones. And then I kept it elevated, of course. And then I put a drop of food grade hydrogen peroxide on it, just because it was gross, icky stuff that I was dealing with. And then I put a carnosine. Once it sealed over enough, I put a carnosine. I put a bandage on it, and then I put a carnosine on the bandage. And then starting the next morning, Saturday, I never wore a bandage again. I never had any real pain from it. And it's all healed over totally. I don't think you can even see there was a cut.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's been 3 weeks. So.
We know it's the wound healing that takes place, and it closes it up, which I think a lot of us have had that happen to us. So, wow, thank you. We're glad of our thumbs, right, Adele? Okay, Ravel, come on in. I'm coming up to your country next week. Not sure where you are, but I'm going
lovely to have you, Sherry.
Can't wait to see.
Where are you going?
Well, we're going to Edmonton and Calgary and Banff, Lake Louise.
So you're on the other side of the continent, but I hope you enjoy yourself. And speaking of Canada, there was a Toronto Roadshow Saturday, and we had fun seeing each other. And this is a patching testimonial morning, and there's 2 people left, so I'll keep this really short.
Thank you.
Part of the day was having some folks be patched. And I had envisioned I would go into the audience and do a couple of people, but they were kind of called to the front. So suddenly there were 10 people there. Anyway, the good news is every single person experienced an alleviation of pain using Ice Wave. The one individual that didn't, very interestingly, he was the only one that wasn't wearing X39. But it was very exciting to hear that range of, from 10 out of 10 down to 5, down to 3, down to 2. These patches are amazing. Great to be here.
Thank you so much, Ravel. Appreciate that. Let's take Jennifer next, since she has not spoken to us, and we'll get right back to you, Nancy. There you are.
Yeah, my first time on.
Welcome.
And thank you. X39 has just done some amazing things that I never thought it would. My first night, we were given them, and it was at night, and we put them on, and we slept not knowing we put them on at the wrong time of day. We slept the best sleep that we've ever slept in so many years. So you really can't do anything wrong with these. I already knew about light therapy, but these patches are wearable light therapy, which is amazing. My second day, my stomach, lower stomach, I've had 2 emergency C-sections. They had said that scar tissue would never go away. So no matter how much weight I lost, I would always have that pouch. The second day, it felt like I was nursing again. The tightening of those muscles was happening on the second day. And I could
That's amazing.
feel that. And it just utterly amazed me. So I've been on them 3 months now, and it's continuing to tighten and heal those scar tissues down there. So since I know what it does for scar tissue, I just moved. I got bit by my feral cat. Horrible. So I took an X39 and put it right directly on the bite. The next day when I took it off, because it bruised immediately, I had this circle where the patch was, like it was healed, and everything else around it was bruised. And it only took 2 days of then the next day putting an X39 on it. And after that, I didn't have to put one on, because then it was taking the bruising away too. So it healed I should have gone for 2 stitches. My sister said, so I'm just thrilled that I can have it in my toolbox for everyday use.
Wow. Yes. And just to go along with you, because you're new in that, and people know I have a 96-year-old father that's been on the patches about 18 months, and he had open heart surgery in 1969. It was like a butcher job from the neck down to the belly, below the belly button, with 2 great big keloids. And you almost can't see any of it. So the healing of the scars, yours is going to go away too, I know. So yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing with us, Jennifer. Very brave. Thank you. And great stories. Okay, Jennifer, let's finish up with you, please. I'm sorry, Nancy.
Okay, thanks. Now, Adele actually sent me a picture of her thumb when she cut it.
Oh my gosh.
And it was brutal. And it was amazing how much better it looked just by that evening after she put the patch on it. But I was in town not that long ago, and this young lady in her 40s confided in me. I'm a health counselor, so people confide in me. She confided in me that she had a lump in her breast happen all of a sudden, and it was burning, and she didn't know what to do. And I happened to have an extra carnosine patch in my purse, and I gave it to her, and I said, these are supposed to be really good for healing wounds and things. Why don't you try putting this on it and see what happens? And she said within the hour, the burning stopped. By that evening, it had gone down. And I gave her an extra one for the next day. And she said it was totally gone and hasn't come back again.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So glad to hear that. Thank you, Nancy. And then just in an add-on for our granddaddy X39, I was at church afterwards when we get together and talk. A nurse was talking with me and she got interested. And as she was talking in the beginning, she said she had a, let me see, right terminology, a iced shoulder, because I can't say the regular thing. And she could not move it. She couldn't lift her arm. She couldn't do anything because of the condition. And so I just put an X39 on it. And while we were talking for a while, in about, I would say 5 or 10 minutes, she started to go like this and then was raising it. And she says, it stopped hurting. So please look after our X39s and just help people with them. So Gregory, would you like to finish up with us and tell us what's
I'd
going
love
on?
to. Yeah, thanks very much. Great job, Jerry, and wonderful stories, everyone. What a great morning. We love our
Wonderful.
Monday morning miracle calls, don't we? And Robin sends her love. She's up in Winnipeg for the final meeting on the Canadian Roadshow tour. So she sends her love from up there. And Ravel, delighted to hear that Toronto went well over the weekend. And all of the cities, it's great to have the corporate partners on the road helping us to relaunch Canada. Tonight, very excited. We've got, Helen has a brand new, Helen and Tim Peake have a brand new director in their team. Jan Pawlowski, sorry if I mispronounced it, that might be on with us tonight. And we're very excited. Connie Lucas has a brand new senior presidential director, Michael Jaco, on her team. He just closed it up yesterday, and I'm not sure if he'll be able to be on because he's actually driving from Florida to Sedona. He's doing a meeting in Sedona, not a LifeWave meeting, but I'm sure he'll be talking about LifeWave while he's there up in Sedona, where he used to live for several years. So we'll have that, and we'll probably have some other corporate news and information we'll be sharing tonight. So if you can, join us on our Monday evening community call, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And thanks everyone for dialing in and being part of this Monday morning call. And Tuesday night, we have our Tuesday, Testimonial Tuesday, we call it. And we have one of our health practitioners, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which one it is. Robin schedules them all meticulously. So I know we have one scheduled. I'm just not sure it is, but it's going to be great. So we'll see you at one of the upcoming calls, and so excited to be part of this great community and opportunity with you. So if you'd like to unmute and say your farewells, this would be a good time to do that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Go, Jerry.
So much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job, Jerry.
Good job,
Jerry.
Good job,
Thank
Jerry.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to hear
Canada
about you.
Road.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the great shares, everyone. Have an awesome day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Shannon.
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 Update, I'm still waiting to feel my hair grow.
So funny.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week. Have a great week.
You too.
Love you
Bye-bye.
guys. Thanks.